Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A CloudFoundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
See the designing of the screen for every portlet. Every address element will be, because if I go to the personal info, let me go to the personal info just a minute. When I go to the personal info, we can see identifier, the labels, the enabling part mandatory. Here in every carriage field, you can see a detail option is there. When you click any of the detail option here, it will again show you inside the identify the label, the enabling part mandatory. Adding to that, there are certain field properties. Field properties are also known as the attributes of that particular field. What are the field properties? You can see the visibility of the field, masking of the field, if the field is mandatory or not, the length of the field, all these other field properties of that particular field or the attribute of the field. If you want to play any of the field properties as per the customer requirement, we can. We need to go into the details. Got. And this part which you are seeing right now in the personal information, this is the global view. When we were discussing about managed business configuration is what it is, an extended part of succession data model. When we discussed about data model, we have also discussed that succession data model is also two types. Right. One is global succession data model, one is country specific. Right. If I am creating some field in a global succession data model, what it means it is applicable to. It is applicable to all countries, right? Am I correct? If I am creating a custom field and that field I am creating in a global succession data model, by default it is applicable to all countries. But if I require a field only suppose for German in location or France location, but that field should not be reflecting in other locations like Singapore, Malaysia countries. We will go into the country specific succession data model. Same thing when you come into the managed business configuration. Also, we have a global view and we have a country specifically. Here, whatever suppose I am taking personal info. In personal information, whatever you are seeing right now, the salutation, first name, middle name, all this thing is the global view. Means what? By default, it will be applicable to all countries. The employees who are working in every country, all countries' employees profile, it will be applicable. That is a global view. Similarly, if you want to go for a country specific here, also here it is not created. Here, if you want to create, you can able to go and create it for the country. But the country specific which is already created, if you want to go and take, you can take job information. When I take on job information, first of all, this job information view which you are seeing right now, this is the global view which we'll be seeing right now. This one, the position, tie, entry, date, time in position, company, all these things which is reflecting in a chalice field. This is the global view. If you want to go for the job information country specific, click on this arrow. And if you click on this arrow, can you see a job info where these countries are there? That is for you. Then you have urgent in Australia. If I click on Australia, we can see here for Australia, they have a country specific fields. Suppose now you can see here these fields cooperation entry info, initial entry date. This is specifically to the country that is for Australia. Here this view which you are seeing, this is a country specific view. Got it? Whenever we are configuring something specific to a particular country, then you have to come to the manage business configuration, come to the HRIS element. And the which element means which portal which you are clicking. That is a global view under that you can click on the arrow. You can get the country specific job information. These are something which commonly we get in the support ticket where they want just for a particular country. It should be applicable. Then we need to go and create that custom field for that particular country. If customers has not specified it, is all responsibility to ask to our customer that it is. This field is applicable to all countries or that particular country. Same thing when you go, this is for job information. Same again when I am going into home address. You can see home address, whatever the fields which you are showing here, which is reflecting here, that is a global view. You can see here the scrape address main. Everything is a global view. The fields and everything they are showing here under the field section. Now again, when I click on the arrow here, you can see in the arrow, you can see where these countries are there. Suppose if I click on India here. For India, you can see these other streets, these other fields, street house number, extra address main city. Same thing if I just go and click on something other country. You can see the difference here for the country's perspective. It may not require that those fields can be the same for all countries. But whatever, because it is a country's perspective. But if you are defining a field at a global level, then that is applicable to all countries. When you are hiring an employee for the France location and you are hiring an employee for Singapore location and both the employee profile, if the common field will be reflecting, which are being configured here in the global view. Some extra field will be visible when they have configured data countries. What is? This is applicable to all elements. Now you have seen home address, you have seen job info, personal info. When you go to email info also you can see email info. This one email type address is primary. This is there. This is only global level. Here there is no country's perspective. Certain elements are there which is defined for the country's perspective. Otherwise, mainly all the elements are at a global level. Got? That is one thing. Second thing, after the HRIS field, you can see one more section is there that is called as a trigger rule. Trigger rule is a section where in the coming sessions, we will learn this topic also. That is called as a business rule. There is a concept called business rule, where we need to write a rule for certain scenarios where the action has to be performed automatically in the system. There should not be any manual entry. It has to be triggered automatically. In that case, we will write a logic in the business rule. And after writing the business rule will trigger only when you are assigning that business rule to the particular section or the portlet. Here in case, if I have created a business rule which is related to email information, and when I'm changing some value for email type of address, if the rule has to trigger, then the rule has to be assigned here in the email information. Then only the rule will trigger. This topic we will cover up in the coming session when we start with the business rule. But as we are already covering up the managed business configuration, I am just giving an overview. How? The trigger rule. What is the use of this section? Trigger rule. Again, here it is object level view. And when you go into a field and in the field, when you scroll down, you can see here again there is a section under the field. Trigger rule. This trigger rule section is called as a field level. And here the trigger rule section is called as an object level. Understood? Whenever you are assigning any business rule, we need to clear that this rule has to be assigned at object level or any of the field level. This trigger rule will be showing in every portlet. Suppose if I'm going with job information, also in the job information, and when I'm scrolling down, we can see trigger rule is there. And in this trigger rule, you can see areas. Rules have already been assigned here. Similarly, if you go to any of the fields here in the detail, scrolling down, you can find the trigger rule section is there. Got? Just an overview I'm giving you about the rules part. How it is assigned. How many ways it can be assigned. Manage business configuration is a place where you can able to make changes, modify the configuration which is related to the employee related fields. The employee related fields means when you open an employee profile, when I duplicate this screen and when you open an employee profile, you can see here. When you open an employee profile, see biographic, national PID address, contact information. Similarly, when you go here, you have an organization job, information job. All these are such and everything is connected with a portlet right. When you go here, you can see this is a portlet right. This is a portlet which is showing here, And every portlet will be having some fields, standard fields and custom fields. Whatever the fields you're seeing here, that is job classification, job title, pay grade. Whatever the fields which you're seeing here, how these fields are coming from, where these fields are coming from. Manage business configuration. Secondly, when you go for the add new employee, also in the add new employee also, while filling the records for the field from where those fields are coming from. The manage business configuration. This has to be understood clearly because whenever you are doing any changes in the employee profile from where these fields has to be changed, that should be, you should have a clarity. And whenever you are hiding an emper and when you feel why this field is hand, why this field is mandatory, we need to change the what is the configuration for the field. For any new hire also, whatever changes which is we are making, that will be reflecting in the add new employee function. I am sure. That is one thing. For creating the custom field. Also when you can see here how I have created the custom field. I have created two ways. I have created here you can see whenever you are creating a custom field, you have an option here. Suppose I am deleting this. Let me delete it and let me create a new custom field. Let me try first now information. What are the fields? Now lastly it is for a presentation. If there is any straightforward software, main Mac F just catches member dot. Then we'll select auth of operation SAPHR Instagram. You output to write or me lettings E. The third name is already acquired solar. I have it clicked something. Here I can take some tickets called tag number. and I'm just saving it. Once it is saved, you can. I need to check, but it is. It will not be reflecting because I need to give the proper permission. Again, I will go here. It seems it's still in process. I have created the custom field, but it is not reflecting. Why it is not reflecting? Now this is a question also why. When you're creating custom field and if it is not reflecting, why it is not just reflecting on how we can able to rectify it. Whenever you are creating a custom field, it is always required to give the proper permissions. Without the permissions, that any custom field will not be reflecting in the process. For giving the permissions, we need to go to permission roles. We have to go to the permission role. There will be a lot of permission roles. We need to choose the correct permission role. For the training purpose, I created one role here. I will give the permissions there. And as we go here, and I have to go to Employee Center, left active data. I will explain to you. When we start with our VP, go to Control left and what was all the field. You can see here Employee Emergency Contact. Right. We need to give the proper permission. I am going here. I am taking up selecting a random date here. 'Cause 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 'cause' 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 Now, either we can able to enter manually But if you don't want to enter manually, we have a concept called pick list. First of all, we need to go and create a pick list. We will pick the screen. I will know the configuration to this pick list center. And go to the again. We go in detail when we start with MDF. But now just I am showing it over you. After going into the pick list center, you can plus sign and just copy this. And I will take the 15 data. And I am just saving. $130 saved, there will be no value for it. We need to add some value. Already we have the name and the code. Under this we need to add the value. With for it. And if I am going here, I am just keeping two values. And after creating this pick list, how will we assign it? I will go to manage business configuration under the personal info. Now we can go back into the employee profile. And you're going to be pulling down. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.